fan? Well, if you said yes to both of those things, and there's a good chance you're probably a little tired of our local Cleveland Brown sports media. Same old thing, day after day, night after night. It's time to hang the cleats up. It's time to pass the torch. If you're looking for something fun, something fresh, something where four people literally smack themselves in the face over and over with hot take after hot take, then my boys at Down with the Browns is where you want to be. It's just good for your soul. Available on Apple Podcast, YouTube, and Twitter. Getting down with the Browns.
And welcome back to another episode of Down with the Browns, baby.
All right. Let's go, baby!
What is up, boys? We have KFC, Manny Maxwell, and a very special guest, Jacob Carroll. Or
What's
Jacob
up,
State
Jake?
Farm.
What's going on, guys? It's good to be on here.
That's awesome. That's
Wow.
awesome. It's the Christmas special. It is the
It is.
Christmas special of Down with the Browns. Man, oh man, I just realized that just now. That's why I threw some Christmas music on during the countdown.
Yes,
We
sir.
have a very, very, very fun show for you guys planned tonight. We're going to be going over the Pro Bowl selections for your Cleveland Browns. We're going to be going over some key players from other teams that were also chosen. And, we're going to be talking about, overreactions, underreactions, and just highlighting this Saints at Cleveland Browns preview. It is going to be a cold one. I know that you guys have a storm coming your way in the Virginia, Kentucky area. Are you guys getting prepared for that? Or is that post show? Is that you guys getting prepared
Yes,
right away?
sir. Hopefully they're already treating the roads. So
At least with a little bit of something. How about you, Jake? What's going on? Are you doing anything for preparation?
Not really. We're just gonna try and take it a little bit at a time. We're supposed to have family over tomorrow, but we may end up having to cancel that depending on what happens and stuff. So yeah.
yo.
Absolutely, and we're all going to be praying for that everyone's safe during this crazy winter storm that's coming up. It's going to be hitting a lot of the north, and weather for that game for the Saints and the Browns is going to be super cold.
I don't know if you guys have saw, but they've already got tickets dropped down to like $2.
Yes. Which, by the way, people are saying like, hey, Deshaun Watson's supposed to turn the season around, and then they're posting pictures of the StubHub or the Ticketmaster where it's $2 or whatever, and they're like, oh wow, this is what you guys have been waiting for. And I'm like, it's supposed to be like minus 10 degrees during that game in Cleveland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who's really even going to that? And Jarvis Landry, he isn't even playing. Chris Olave isn't even playing. He's officially ruled out as well for the New Orleans Saints. So it's like, what do you watch the game from home? I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a dub. It's going to be a dub. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. I want to be really pretty, flat out honest with you. I know a lot of people want to, play it professionally, but you could tell the truth and say, hey, this is going to be a hard fought game. The 7th seed is up for grabs.
Mm-hmm.
And the Saints in their division, their trash division, for some way they could potentially, still fare pretty well there. So I think that it's going to be a hard fought game, but they're going to be running the ball the whole entire time. They really will.
Yeah, bet that over on any rushing amount for Nick Chubb. Bet the over.
Mm-hmm.
Bet that over. Baby.
Absolutely. So congratulations. Let's start this show off for your Cleveland Browns Pro Bowl selections.
Pro Bowl.
Little drum roll. I don't have drumsticks or anything. A little drum roll. Joel Bitonio, guard.
The GOAT.
The goat of the goat. We have some really good linemen on the Cleveland Browns franchise. We have some really good
for
linemen
sure.
playing right now. I mean, we're getting completed. Joe Bitonio, he's getting selected to his pro. I think it's his third Pro Bowl appearance.
This is 5th straight.
This is 5th straight. Yes, this is 5th straight. Yes, this is Myles Garrett's. Shout out to Myles Garrett, who also obviously got the Pro Bowl selection, had the votes for defensive end in the AFC. He's going to his 3rd Pro Bowl. Joe Bitonio is going to his 5th straight Pro Bowl. Nick Chubb, he's 3rd in the league in rushing. and he's going to his second Pro Bowl, I believe. So it is third Pro Bowl. Is it his third?
Fourth.
Is it his fourth Pro Bowl?
Yeah, he's been there ever since the second year.
Yeah, he didn't get to make his rookie year, but
That's
ever since
right.
then-
He was, I think he was a reserve or something, like third round reserve or
Yes,
something like that.
Yes, he was. I'm looking at
So-
that right now. So I mean, a little bit of a shorter Pro Bowl list than last year's Pro Bowl list, but we do have some Pro Bowl reserves, and it might be who you're guessing the obvious names of tight end David Njoku, cornerback Denzel Ward. Amari Cooper is a reserve as well, and then the surprising name of Jack Conklin. I don't know if that was surprising to anybody else, but Wyatt Teller and Jack Conklin. Is Jack Conklin surprising to you guys being a Pro Bowl reserve, or did you think he was having a pretty good year? Or maybe I didn't notice. I'll tell you that if I didn't notice.
He's not been as great as Jack Conklin was the past 2 seasons, I believe.
Yeah.
But I guess we nitpick because we think that the O-line should be 10 times better than it actually is.
Right.
And since Postage went down, they've been pressuring a lot more. You see more blitzes since Postage went down. So I guess they're catching the back end of that as well, where there's more pressures instead of everybody dropping in the coverage. So I guess that's kind of been why we've seen him get beat a little bit more.
Right.
So
do you think the Wyatt Teller injuries had something to also do with that? Because I feel like
Absolutely.
right. What do you say? What do you think about that, Jake? What do you think about that?
I feel like if he had played a full season, he would definitely be a Pro Bowl selection for sure. If he played a full season, he had to miss some time, but yeah.
it's his calf, right?
Yes, it is his calf.
So, like, if you notice last year, and I've seen it brought up on Twitter, it's like once that he strains that calf, his grades start dropping drastically.
Yes.
So I don't know if he needs to have surgery on that or what needs to happen there, because it seems like this is a recurring injury for Wyatt.
Mm-hmm. It definitely is, and I feel as though, because people are talking about, I know Matty G cannot, like, he's really down on Wyatt Teller right now, and I think it's more injuries. I think that obviously having center play who's to the left of you in that spot for Wyatt Teller is important as well, because if you're getting some competent play from your setter, I think that's true. MC Lawrence with a good question. Can we just scrap the Pro Bowl game though? What would you do instead of the Pro Bowl game? Which people were saying stuff like a flag football. They like the dodgeball idea.
Yeah. Bring back the old games, man. Like, you know how like they used to have like the throwing competitions, like the throwing
40-yard dash, stuff like that.
Yeah, that stuff was cool.
Yeah.
Like skills competitions. I think they still have a skills competition, but I wouldn't mind like a recess kind of. I mean, you all get selected, but kind of how the NBA
no pads.
Nope. I mean, you could do.
That'd be sick.
That'd be sick too. Even flag football, because guess what? You'll try a little bit harder in flag football because again, that's what people's gripes are.
Dude,
with Pro Bowl.
Hear me out. They should do no pads, just backyard football, and whoever wins gets an incentive on their contract.
Even
that, do like a bonus or something. It'd get more viewers. It'd be better game to watch because, like, injuries might happen a little bit more, but you know.
Yes.
But I mean, it'd be a fun game to watch.
They might have more. But again, the NBA understood that. The NBA understood that. Andrew, shout out to Andrew. What's up? What's up?
Merry Christmas.
Oh man, that's awesome. That is awesome. He can't stay long. Thank you so much, Andrew, for stopping by and saying what's up.
Yes, sir.
Merry Christmas to you and your family as well. I do want to also say, and also congratulations on winning the Down with the Browns mug, because you had the funniest comment on Twitter. So he did win the Down with the Browns mug for the evil Matty G meme. Please check out our Twitter page for the evil Matty G meme and to know what we're talking about. It was from last episode. Fantastic. He looks like Emperor Palpatine for all you Star Wars fans out there. But again, I'm going back to that flag football. That might not be a bad idea, because the NBA realized this, right?
Yeah.
The NBA was like, man, these people are not trying. These players are not trying in the All-Star game. Then they were like, all right, well, then let's do an incentive base. Let's do, $1 million to a certain charity. And then also have it recess kind of picking, where you get to pick your own players, and you have 2 team captains, and they're the top 2 vote getters are the team captains. And then you just pick, and then you have that as a show. So I think like that's a pretty cool idea for Pro Bowl to make that a little bit more fun. What do you guys think, or any ideas?
I like it.
Yeah. Sounds pretty cool. I'd watch it.
Yeah, I'd really would, and I think that having some, I think that when you're chosen like that as well,
Mhm.
like you don't want to let down the person who chose you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to, like if you're getting recess picked, you don't want to. I don't know. I feel like I'd be honored to be chosen, but I don't know who the All Star, the Pro Bowl
Well,
top.
you'd obviously have to go quarterbacks as your team captains.
Yeah, you'd have to go quarterbacks. You'd have to go
Like
quarterback.
go like Mahomes and whoever the leading is in the
NFC.
NFC.
I think
Yeah.
it's Jalen Hurts at this moment.
Yeah, I do like depending on who makes the Super Bowl and stuff, do it like
Mhm.
that.
That's
But,
true. Super Bowl players are the captains, and then they can pick, that way. And then you have flag football, and nothing crazy.
yeah, that'd be or whoever like like you can vote coaches too, and whoever the top leading coaches are, they get to pick their
That's also true. You can also do something like that.
yeah.
But again, it's all about trying. And again, football, it's unfortunate about the injuries, but you want to get the players excited. You want to get the players pumped up. And I
Yeah.
think that one way to do that potentially is to have a Pro Bowl, like you're saying, where you're chosen, recess picking, and then you play for just the pride of playing football. Honestly,
Didn't they do that a few years ago though?
I think they did, but I'm not sure. I'm getting it mixed up with the Madden, because they did a Madden tournament. I think that was COVID year that they did like a Madden thing, right? Or
Yeah.
like they played a video game. But I have to look.
I felt
that up.
like they had like old school players like pick their teams and stuff, or am I just thinking something weird? Or am I thinking of I might be thinking of Madden, bro.
You might
No
be
lie.
thinking of Madden,
I don't know.
honestly.
But
Flag
yeah.
football Pro Bowl. I mean, I think that action pack flag football at Gillette Stadium. Yeah. I think that that's it. Might be they're looking toward flag football. I think because it'll be a little bit better. But
Yeah.
truthfully, like no one wants to hit in those Pro Bowl games. Going way back to when it was held in Honolulu, Hawaii. Like nobody really
Yeah.
wanted to. You know what I mean? Like they didn't want to get involved. Honestly, I think that.
Yeah.
I think that that's something to be excited for. But congratulations to Joel Platonio. Is there anybody on the team that you thought should have been slipped in as a potential Pro Bowl starter, or somebody who just didn't really deserve it?
One player that I can think of that could have gotten a potential spot, but he also got injured was Ethan Posick. I think he should have gotten a spot as well, but the injury was like with Wyatt Teller, another thing that stopped him from making it as well.
I agree.
I did not think about Ethan Posick. Honestly, that's a name that I think is really high up there. Obviously those three are the ones that I would 100% say that should have been. Ethan Posick definitely should have went. I think that you're so right. If he wasn't injured, he would have gone. And I think he put a lot of people on alert. But what a steal, by the way. Ethan Posick, what a steal from Seattle. I had no idea how to say his name for the life of me. And I remember that episode when we got him. I was like, oh my goodness gracious, Nick Karras. I remember the first play of the preseason gets bent over backwards, like from the Jacksonville Jaguars. I forgot he even did it, but it was on the first play. I'm like, man, oh man, I knew he was a smaller guy, but I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
So, MC Lawrence is saying play wiffle ball. That might not even be a bad idea, right? I mean, that might not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
It'd be something that could also get the competitiveness out of you, but barring no injuries. So,
yeah, honestly, going back to the Pro Bowl question, I think Amari Cooper should have been in there because I mean he's top 15 in both touchdown receptions and yards.
Yep.
I think he should have been. I think he should have been clear cut like starter.
Now, depending on who makes the Super Bowl, if
it's like the Vikings or something like that,
those players that originally got selected won't be in the Pro Bowl. So
That's
Amari
true.
Cooper essentially made it, and I feel like he'll get called up. Eventually.
Because I mean, there's going to be one of these star-studded receivers in the Super Bowl. Has to be. If there's not, it's going to be a wild playoff.
It will be. I think what, and I hate to do this, and I hate to give the fact. So the quarterbacks of the AFC who won the Pro Bowl for AFC are Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. Shout out to Joe Burrow for getting the nod on a Pro Bowl. Much deserved. But man, oh man, Tua Tagovailoa, did he get snubbed, or is it just me, or did like? But that I mean, statistically, he's having a fantastic season. I don't know who you would have switched him out with. I might have switched him out with Joe Burrow. I really might have.
What
Because,
is he like? Is he in the reserved?
He is in the reserve. He's
So
in the reserve. Yeah.
I mean, I completely understand picking them 3 over Tua, because I mean, a lot of people from the outside looking in, it looks like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and Mike McDaniels are the reason Tua is being successful.
True.
Like, just from an outside perspective on that. So I could kind of see where they're getting that and why he wasn't one of the clear-cut chosen ones. But, I think the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl this year. I don't know about you guys, but I think the Chiefs are going to win it all this year.
We can definitely talk about that. I think I'll let you go first, Jake. Who do you think we could talk about that really quick, because I would like to talk about that. Who do you think's going to the Super Bowl representing the AFC, and then we can go NFC too, because we could talk about that quick.
I feel like for me, it's too early to answer that question because we don't know who's going to be 5, 6, or 7 in the AFC. Once you know who's going to be 5, 6, or 7, you could get some mismatches in there, like a team that gets in the 7 spot that's playing really hot could eventually beat, say, the Chiefs or the Bills. Because right now, who's to say that Josh Allen couldn't, throw 4 interceptions in a game, have a bad game, and just absolutely fold? I mean, they barely beat us.
True.
I mean, so for me right now, it's a little too early to tell until the playoff field is actually set. Of course, I mean, I'm going to have to agree with Christian in the sense the Chiefs do have probably the best overall well-rounded team, although the Bengals are right there with them. Of course, they beat them. I don't see the Bengals beating the Chiefs again for a 4th time. If they meet each other, I think the Chiefs will get them when it matters the most. But who's to say both teams wouldn't be eliminated by the time we got to the AFC Championship game?
Yeah.
Because right now you've got 13 teams in the AFC with 6 wins or more right now. 13. And some of those teams that are fighting for a wild card are playing pretty hot right now. The Chargers are starting to play a little better.
Yes.
Not a lot better, but a little better.
Yes.
If the Dolphins play in warm weather, they're very now, if the Dolphins have to go to another
warm weather,
cold weather city, I mean, I don't really see them advancing because their road record is very, very different to their home record. But once you see the top 7 advance and you see your seating, I'll be able to answer that question a lot better, I feel like.
I love what you said about the Cincinnati Bengals, because can the Cincinnati Bengals beat the Kansas City Chiefs 3 times in 1 year? I don't know of any circumstance where you beat a team 3 times in 1 year. Even the Saints tried to do that twice with Tom Brady and failed both times.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they beat him twice in the regular season, and when it came to playoff time, Tom Brady knocked him out both times. And it is one of those things that's really hard to do, because there's them so well, and usually that happens with division rivals, but in this case, I mean, it'd be hard to do. I mean, not 3 times in 1 year, but essentially 3 times in one calendar year. But like, I think it'd be really hard to do that in my eyes. And if they went up against each other, I do believe that the Kansas City Chiefs will win that. However, if Buffalo win against Kansas City in some kind of facet, and Buffalo, I believe, would beat Kansas City, I think that Cincy can beat Buffalo. I do. And we're going to find that out in a couple of weeks here, because Cincinnati's going to play Buffalo. So I think that's going to be a very interesting game in and of itself.
Hot take.
Go ahead.
Cincy loses first round.
Matty G's. What do you say?
Cincy loses first round. First round exit.
Cincy loses first round.
I think they're peaking too early.
Cincinnati, you're saying Cincinnati would lose first round?
Yeah, I think they're peaking early, man. I think the Chiefs are catching hot right at the right time. So I think the Chiefs, because they did this back in 2020 or 2019, whenever they won it, they started peaking right at the right time. And I think the Vikings are too. So I think it's going to be a Patrick Mahomes and Kirk Thuggins Super Bowl matchup.
Kirk Thuggins. I don't
You go see the
get-
Grady kid a lot.
I don't see a first round exit out of Cincinnati. Is that weird that I don't see that? I don't
Nobody
see
thought they were going to the Super Bowl last year.
they
I'm
if
telling
they
you, man.
if
First
they-
round exit's happening.
I bet you $10 if Cincinnati Bengals fans were honest with themselves, they would say, we don't want a first round bye. We don't want a first round bye. I feel
they're
like
not getting
lately it's like it's like a curse. You don't want a first round bye because it doesn't mean anything. Tennessee, Green Bay last year, I can't think the year before that, but like I think nowadays you don't want that rest for your players might be a great thing, but I don't think that you want to have a whole week off. You want to keep the ball rolling, and they're heating up, they're cooking up, and Jamar Chase has not skipped a beat at all. So my Super Bowl prediction, I do have the Buffalo Bills. Actually, I do have the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl for the AFC. They're still a Super Bowl favorite. But a part of me, I would like to see Cincinnati in the Super Bowl. But just because I in a weird way, I do. And here's the reason why. Next year, it's not going to be sweet whatsoever in this division. The Cleveland Browns are coming. And I seriously want the Bengals fans to be on high alert and understand that, okay, we have a really good team. We just won the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. We want you to be at full strength. We want you to be at 100% full strength and a really good team, and everybody knows it. And then the Browns start to win this division. That's what I personally want. But yeah, it's whoever it's going to be. I think it's going to be against the Eagles. I think they're going to be coming in here.
Bro, I'm telling you, the Vikings are making it.
Right now, if the playoffs started this weekend, the Bills would have the one. And
Yes.
I feel like this is the 1 year. Usually home field advantage in the playoffs doesn't mean too much. I mean, we beat Pitt at Pitt in a playoff game. But this particular year, I feel like home field advantage means the world.
Yes.
And I think whoever gets that number one in the AFC is the most likely. And that, of course, like you said, Manny, it's the Bills right now.
Yeah.
But who's to say the Chiefs wouldn't take that? I don't think it's the Bengals. I don't think the Bengals will get that number one. It's probably going to be between Bills and Chiefs.
Yeah.
But more than likely, in the event that happens, the Chiefs would more than likely face the Bengals in the divisional round.
That's true. I think that's true. I think that would be really interesting, unless there's a historic collapse out of the Kansas City Chiefs or the Buffalo Bills,
or an injury,
or injury. God forbid.
I mean, honestly, if Patrick Mahomes goes down, Chiefs are
they're done. Yeah, they're completely.
You can honestly say that about pretty much every team in the race. Like Burrow goes down, they're done. Allen goes down, they're done. But I think the Browns are going to sneak into the playoffs and run in the Super Bowl this year. I'm just kidding.
No, well, listen. There is a path. There is a path that got brighter. It got now. Let's be a little realistic, because the Cleveland Browns playoff hopes got a little bit better because of 100%. Some of the things that went down last week. Yeah, like I think it was at 0.4%, and now it's at 0.8%.
Something like that.
So you're saying there's a chance.
But I think that right. I think that because all you need, essentially, because you have the 6th spot almost guaranteed locked up. But there is a way that if the Baltimore Ravens completely lose out, they could possibly open up another playoff spot. If they completely lose their games, and I think that there's a chance that they actually do. Lamar Jackson going to be sitting out another week, and I think that some people are saying that he's played his last snap for the Baltimore Ravens.
I hope so.
They think that he's just going to sit out and for the rest of the season and show the Baltimore Ravens. This is a perfect opportunity to show the Baltimore Ravens how much you're worth, and just take this injury and sit out. And lose what the Baltimore Ravens going to lose 4 straight and just get dropped out of lose 3 straight and get 4 straight at this time, I guess, because we just beat them, but 4 straight and then get knocked out of the playoff contention and then drop down to the 3rd seed. I think it's a possibility. So, some of the simulations were having the Chargers. They would have to, in order for the Bengals, the Browns to have a chance, the Chargers would have to lose out, which I don't see happening. They play the Colts, the Broncos, and the Rams. Fingers crossed Baker Mayfield can make magic happen one more time and beat them. But it's sad that we have to, he can send
I
us
was
to the playoffs.
17.
Rye was 17. Rye was 17.
Wow.
Rye was 17. But I mean, there's a chance. I think it's just fun to talk about it. I don't believe that it will really happen, but it's fun to talk about. For sure.
Yeah, but it all comes down to winning each game, and you've got to finish out. And honestly, even if we don't make the playoffs, which I highly doubt we will at this point, if you can finish 9-8 after going 4-7 before Watson gets back, showing that you went 5-1 with Watson.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know the cap situation is very tight. I don't know how all that's going to work out. I'll leave that to the numbers, dudes. But I think that having that record with Watson going into next year is going to have people going like, I see what Cleveland's building.
Mm-hmm.
I see what they did with Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
5-1. Let's why don't we just let me get my agent to reach out. Let's see if we can make this happen. And another hot take. I've already said this. I'm telling you, D-Hop is going to be in a Browns uniform next year. It's happening.
You want to do that or over and underreaction? You want to start
it's
up?
underreaction because it's happening. I'm telling you, he's going to either ask for a trade or he's going to demand his release this offseason. I'm telling you, he is going to be in the orange and brown catching passes from DW4 next year.
Here's the problem with that thing about it. First and foremost, I love DeAndre Hopkins, and I would love for him to be on the Cleveland Browns. But that's like a $22 million cap hit, right? $22 million cap hit.
Yep.
He's 31 years old.
Yep.
I think it is 100% wishful thinking. They just gave Kyler Murray a contract extension, and to take away his number one option when he didn't have him in the beginning of the year, I think is a little bit crazy. I think Arizona is going to do everything in their power to keep DeAndre Hopkins because I don't know why they're going to give Kyler Murray money and then take away his option.
If I'm not mistaken, man, I want to say in his contract he has an opt-out.
Look that up. I don't but again, even if he does, it's still that 22 million dollar cap hit for the Browns because
so he has a potential out in 2020. So this offseason, he has a potential out is what it says.
Okay. It'd be interesting to see how that works. If they want to get back together and come over here, I mean, again, I don't not like it. I don't not like it because people are saying, oh, well, he's old, this or the other. I don't care. Amari Cooper's, a little bit up in age as well, but and he's producing. He might have the first 1,000 yard season in a very long time for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, in 2 years.
So it'd be insane. He's I think he's 28 years old. I don't know why I'm saying up in age when I'm 28. He's 28. He's 28 years old. But I think to be honest with you, having DeAndre Hopkins across from Amari, like that.
I think if you get D-Hop, you don't have
Amari.
You don't have Amari
because it would have to be a trade, wouldn't it?
Well, it'd have to be a trade, or if he opts out, or however that outage works. I don't know if it's like a team out, like they can cut him and not have like to pay the cap. You know how like they do that? How like the June? I think I can't remember the date. It's like June something.
Yeah.
So,
Post
I don't know
June.
if that's in effect. But here's another over under reaction.
Yeah.
Over or under reaction. The Browns have 2 1,000 yardage receivers this year.
This year?
Yeah, finishing out because Amari Cooper is just 60-something yards away and DPJ is less than 300 yards away with 3 games remaining.
You want to take this one, Jake, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go ahead.
Okay.
I could see, of course, Cooper's going to reach the 1,000 mark. I don't know with the way that we have a balanced set offense, and that's a good thing, of course. I don't know that DPJ would hit that 1,000th mark unless our offense just goes on so I see it as doubtful, especially with cold weather coming up this weekend. More than likely, the Washington game is going to be cold. We're going to have a lot of just run pound the ball down the middle every single time type football, old school stuff. I don't necessarily see us being very pass happy the next 3 games. So it'll be a little unlikely that DPJ hits that 1,000, but I know Cooper will for sure.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Jake. So look at it this way, right? He's at 782 yards. Okay, so he would need about 218 yards more, and divide that by 3. That's 72 yards a game. If he's getting 72 yards a game for the next 3 games, I'm picking him up in fantasy immediately. Because I just but the weather that you just spoke about, Jake, is such an important thing to go over because the games are all outdoors and they're all going to be cold the next 3, which it's going to be at home with the Saints. You have Washington at Washington, and then you have the Steelers at Acrisure, whatever the heck they name it, Acrisure Field or whatever.
Huntsfield.
Heinz Field, yeah.
Or Heinz,
Huntsfield,
whatever.
Huntsfield,
Same,
yeah, whatever.
same garbage.
Same
We know what
catch.
you meant.
Tomatoes. But again,
Tomatoes.
tomato, right? But again, I just that's what
I mean, DPJ's pretty quick, so I mean, he could catch a slant, take off. He could. I mean, he got that dog in him. I mean, I could see it, man. Because if these teams started doubling Amari, and we got to get down the field. If we're behind, you got to throw the football if you're behind.
That's true. I don't know if we're going to be, but again, I don't know if we're going to be behind. And even though he has, you look at the last 5 games with Baltimore last game, he had 4 targets, 4 receptions, 31 yards. He had a big game with Cincinnati with 114. He had 114 yards on 8 receptions. But again, even before then, Houston was 44 yards, Tampa Bay was 16 yards, Buffalo was 61 yards. So it fluctuates pretty high. What's good though, it's trending in the upward direction if you're talking about just being with Deshaun.
Yep.
But again, they're going to still have Deshaun drop back regardless because it's Deshaun Watson. So that's the one caveat. It's not, no knock on Baker Mayfield, no knock on Jacoby Brissett. But you don't have to be, a game manager out there and just run the ball, keep the ball on the ground. You can pass. You can pass if it gets cold. So I see what you're talking about with DPJ. But it's just not realistic. It's just not 72 yards a game, unless he has a huge game where he goes off.
You want to bet on it? You want to bet on it?
Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness gracious! I don't think.
Okay, you're saying no. I'm saying yes. Let's. I'm not saying put money on it, but let's put something on it. Let's put a bet on it right here.
Wait, do you have a bet in mind? Because I have one.
I don't have one in mind, but we can come up with one.
We could definitely come up with one. I'll put it this way: you can owe me. I really like Dr. Pepper. You can owe me some Dr. Pepper or a Mountain Dew or something.
Oh, I was thinking like a dare, like loser has to do something.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, we should have. Well, I haven't done the one chip challenge yet.
Oh gosh, no, do not. No,
we're not doing.
I'm not pooping flames, bro. That's not happening. No,
so
sir.
You're saying you're gonna lose?
No.
MC says short, quick slants to DPJ and let him wheel route for about 100 yards. That it might again. There's a way you can possibly do that. There's a way. There is, but I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
What if like. Because you got to mix in some passes. I know we're going to be run heavy this Saturday, but what if DPJ does break out and has a 100-yard game? Does that make it more likely to you that he has it?
Yes, because again, your average then for your other 2 games goes down because all you need to have is 72 or higher, right? For the next 3 games. So if you break out and you have a game like DPJ had in Cincinnati where he went for 114, but he had 12 targets that game. You got to remember.
Yeah.
So it's like if he goes for that, then he could potentially, yeah.
Which I think that.
Matty G isn't here. So I feel like I need to and Matt,
Debbie Downer.
I have to bring some kind of Debbie Downer. I gotta be
somebody's gotta be down.
Somebody's gotta be down.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think I have to.
So over or under. The Browns have more than 200 yards rushing versus the Saints this Sunday. As a collective.
as a collective,
Mhm.
like including Deshaun Watson's running ability as well.
Yes, Watson, Ford, Hunt, Chubb.
You're saying under, Jake. Go ahead. What why do you think it's under?
I feel like it's underreaction because, or you're saying like underreaction that it's 200 yards.
Yeah. Explain what you mean by that, Christian.
Oh, I meant like over, like not over or under reaction. I meant like over or under. Like,
over or under.
yeah, my bad,
Okay,
my bad.
The amount. Okay.
I
Yeah.
think it'll be over 200 because we're going to be very run heavy in that game. I feel like where that's our main strength. Saints aren't going to necessarily be able to stop us, especially with Ethan coming back. I just don't see them really being able to stop our run game. I feel like that's going to be the biggest, the meat and potatoes of our offense on Saturday. So 200 is a very, very, very good mark. Now, of course, if it's like 187, 193, I mean, that won't shock me or anything, but 200 sounds like a pretty good mark. We'll run the ball. I think the running attack's going to be real good Saturday.
yeah. So, just
MC
to
saying,
oh, my
offense
bad, go
definitely has an advantage on the frozen field. That's very true. MC just said that offense definitely has an advantage on the frozen field. I agree. Did you want to say something, Christian, or do you want me to go?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I just pulled up the stats. I was just checking out their defensive stats. Their defense is pretty much kind of like ours. We just allow 10 more yards per game,
Mhm.
but they are also coming to the dog pound.
Mhm.
The Browns have a little advantage with the cold, you know,
Yeah.
but these Dome boys, the Dome
Yeah.
boys,
Yeah.
they're coming to town. They allow just 0.5 less yards in the run game than us per game. So what I'm hearing is Nick Chubb,
Yep.
Nicholas Jamal
Jamal
Chubb
Chubb.
will be
Absolutely.
having a career game yards
Should.
wise.
I want to say, and I can't even be a pessimist here. So shout out to MC. I can't even be a pessimist right now because but again, I just don't know if it'll be. I mean, 200 yards is a very good over or under mark because you can make the case for both. But the Saints last game they played Atlanta, they gave up 139 yards rushing to Tyler Aguilar on 17 attempts. So he had 8.2 a carry. Every carry, he's averaging 8.2 yards. And that's Terry Aguilar. Now you're going up against arguably the best running back in the NFL. And you bring up a beautiful point, Jake, that I didn't even think about. Ethan Posic's coming back. Now, so you want to, there might be some rust, but what a way to knock off the rust going against a defense that, again, it may or may not be the greatest. It may or may not be a great rush defense. But I will say, here's the only thing that I could be pessimistic about, because they already traded away Gardner Johnson, their corner, to Philadelphia earlier in the year. They have no Marshawn Lattimore, so he's going to be out. It looks like they're not. I truly believe that we might throw a little more than we think we would. We don't have Jacoby, so it's like that's why I'm saying that's why I don't think that we are going to be able to get to 200 yards, because I think we're going to be throwing a little bit more, if that makes sense. Not that we
That's
can't,
fair.
we're
That's
just- we're
fair.
just throwing more.
I think we're gonna win this one. I think we're gonna win pretty good Saturday.
We
I think we're
should.
We should.
I'm gonna
We
say
should.
this is gonna be like a Cincinnati top victory, like we had on Monday Night
should
Football.
be.
It really should be. It
I
really
think-
should be.
Should.
Because I think the way the defense played last Saturday is showing you it's on an upward incline, and I think that this same defense is going to show up this. Because I mean, Alvin Kamara. I mean, he's a dog. I'm not going to knock him, but Andy Dalton. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So
Andy Dalton.
I'm not scared of the Saints. I ain't scared of the New Orleans Aints. So
That's going to be the problem, though. They're going to go run heavy on us, and that is our number one weakness right
That's
now
true.
is defending the run.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
going to be our biggest thing.
Let's
And
see.
if I'm glad Baltimore decided not to run the ball on us all game, because if they
For some weird
had,
reason, they didn't keep it up. Yeah.
that would have been a little difficult on us.
Kamara's not really had that good of a year. I don't know if he's been out a little bit or not, but he's got 164 carries for 641 yards.
Yeah, it definitely is. It makes you squint. And here's the
He's only
thing.
got one tutty.
He only has one touchdown.
Yeah, he only has one tutty.
I'm not a Saint. I haven't watched the Saints a lot, especially that's what happens with a lot of cross conference kind of situations. You lose track of a lot of those teams before you play them. But I do know something that the weather is going to be a huge advantage because the Saints for the past 4 weeks have been playing in very good weather. They had indoors versus the Falcons last week. They played at Tampa Bay the week before, at San Francisco 49ers, and then the week before that they were indoors again for a home game hosting the Rams. So Myles Garrett minimum 2 sacks this week. I do also see that. I see the wide receivers, if they're dropping back to pass or attempting to pass at all with Andy Dalton and some of the wide receivers that they have on their team at this moment, because they're not even they're going to be down Chris Olave and Jarvis Landry. So they're going to have to rely on Traquan Smith heavily and Rashid Shaheed, which I again, a lot of people don't really know those guys in the first place. So your first round pick and the guy you brought over in free agency, and Michael, not to mention Michael Thomas is on IR. So if you attempt to pass, which I don't even know if they might have passed, they might just pull a Miami and pull kind of what Cincinnati and Baltimore should have done versus Cincinnati the first time playing us, and Baltimore more recently. They might just run the ball the entire game. Yeah. So Alvin Kamara, David Johnson, Benjamin, they're going to get a lot of work. So that's what I think, especially in this weather. They're just not used to it. They played indoors and in good weather the past 4 weeks. They're not ready. I don't think they're ready.
So how good is their O-line?
Well, they just drafted that guy from Northern Illinois, Trevor Penning. That big guy who was throwing people around and the Senior Bowl was watching scary movies. He said he watched a bunch of scary movies before games to get ready. But I think I don't know if it's. I have to look at the PFF grades. Maybe
that's what I'm getting ready to do.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how good they are, but Trevor Penning doesn't look like he's been starting very much for them. It looks like James Hurst has been starting.
James Hurst 64.9.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Drew Pete.
Yeah, Pete. Yep.
Yeah, he's 49.6. Eric McCoy is a 67.3. Calvin Throckmorton, he's a 33.9, and then their best player is Ryan Ramczyk, and he is a 78.1.
Wow.
And for reference, can you pull up the Browns and try to get some numbers out there? Because again, a lot of people don't know PFF. Just one or two numbers just for reference. A 67 point or a 70. Because if you're comparing their best guy, Ryan Ramczyk, he's a big boy too, by the way. He's a 6'6" guy out of Wisconsin. Not number one overall draft pick, but
so you know how people knock on Jack Conklin, or not Jack Conklin, Jed Wills a lot. Everybody knocks him. He is our lowest offensive lineman with a 63.9.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
So 63.9 Jed Wills, Joel Bitonio 86.7, Ethan Posich 82.8.
I figured that would be higher.
Yeah, I thought that would be higher. At one point,
they grade the centers hard. He's the third highest center.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah. So they grade the centers a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But Taylor is a 71.7 and Jack Conklin is a 68.6. Taylor's grades dropped drastically over the past few weeks. So that's what's really hurt it. I
would imagine. MC, I completely agree with your point. MC just said each team will probably attempt 10 to 15 passes to try to keep the defense honest. I completely agree about that. I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Stefanski has something drawn up where they have a deep shot to DPJ or a deep shot to Amari Cooper, because again, the weather's just going to be so bad. And honestly, if you kind of let those safeties out there kind of stand in the open and not get any physical contact and tackling and getting in on plays because they're running the ball so much and people aren't breaking out to the the second level, I truly believe you can catch them off guard. You can catch them a little stiff, what I mean, on a big pass play. And once it's in the negatives, it's like it feels like it's in the negatives. It's hard to get that body moving quickly, on a deep route. So if there's a fade or something like that, or a streak route, I think they can catch somebody off guard. So don't be surprised if you see a big play, a big chunk yards play.
So I got another over or under reaction for you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
This concerns Myles Garrett. Do you think Myles Garrett
Okay, I got you.
Do you think Myles Garrett hits 8 or was he at 13.5?
Yeah.
So do you guys think he hits 18 sacks this year? Over or under reaction, he has 18 sacks on the season.
I can. So I'll go first, Jake.
Go ahead.
So he might have no. He's not.
You don't think he's
not
having
getting- No, he's not. And I'll explain. I think that because of the conditions in which we're playing in for the next 3, it's going to be very difficult to obtain that, because next game there's not going to be a lot of drop back passes, so he might not even get. MC. I know he was saying minimum 2 sacks. I don't even know if they'll drop back 2 times. In order to even get a sack, let alone especially with Amari Cooper out there coming out of the backfield. On dinkers and dunkers and check down passes. I think there's going to be a lot of those. You look at Washington. I mean, you might be able to pass the ball a little bit more with Washington. Maybe you might have some opportunity there. And Pittsburgh, again, that's a dogfight. I don't know if he's going to get the 3 sacks he needs, even if he gets, even if he gets 1 versus the Saints, 1 versus the, Washington, he'll need like 3 against the Steelers, which
I think this week he has 3 because he's hungry. I've never seen. No, dude, I'm telling you, he's gonna have 3.
There's
Just
no
because
way he's getting 3
pass attempts. I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna be late in the game, like he's been getting. He's been getting those sacks real late. I think, like I said, I think we're gonna be up ahead, and I think, that. Let me look at his name again. I already forgot it. The Hurst guy. He's not gonna be able to contain Miles.
Yeah,
But he's not going to be able to contain Miles.
But again, James Hurst, the left tackle. But again, it's just a matter of throughout the length and the longevity of the game. It's going to be such a slow game. It is going to be a very slow game. It won't be a nasty game like Baltimore, but it'll be a very slow, controlled game, sort of like what we saw with Carolina week 1, if you guys can remember, all the way back then. It didn't speed up until the end.
When he had 2 sacks.
Mm-hmm. He did have 2 sacks, but that was Baker Mayfield. He literally, like, this is just.
We're going against Andy Dalton.
Yeah, no. But I'm saying Baker Mayfield. He really wanted Baker Mayfield. Like, he wanted to play.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, Miles wants to be the league leader in sacks, and he's not far off. I'm telling you, bro, he's hungry.
I don't think and Jadeveon Clowney's also out, so it's like hard to get that pass pressure if you're not having enough pressure on the line as well. So it's like
it don't matter, man. They're gonna give him the same attention as they did before. I mean, none of the other guys are gonna break through.
You can give him a lot more attention if Jadeveon Clowney ain't out there.
Clowney's not been out there much, and he's not really been that big of a factor this year.
True. But if you ask a defensive coordinator if they have to plan for Jadeveon Clowney or not have to plan for Jadeveon Clowney, I think they'll take.
Go look at the tape, man. There's been a lot of just one-on-ones with Clowney.
True. I don't see 3. I don't see 3 because again, if it's 3,
he had 2 without Clowney on Saturday.
That's true.
Against a better O-line.
Against a better O-line, but that is true. But it is a backup. It is a backup Tyler Huntley who has trouble reading defenses. So
Andy Dalton's backup.
Andy Dalton can read defenses better than Tyler Huntley. Come on now.
I'm just saying he's a backup too.
True.
So,
Well, I mean, we'll the weather's going to be a factor. We'll see. I don't want to be too pessimistic, but I don't see 3.
I'm telling you, bro. MC knows. The offensive line will have to guess which way Garrett is coming. He's gonna feast. I'm telling you, bro. He's gonna have Christmas Eve feast. He's gonna have the lamb chops, the steak. He's gonna have a little ham on the side. He's gonna have the mac and cheese, the mashed potatoes. He's gonna have a feast on Saturday, bro. I'm telling you.
So you were saying 18, Christian?
Total on the year. He's at 13.5.
I feel like 18 is possible. I'm not going to rule it out. I will say it is kind of unlikely, but I won't be surprised if he does reach 18. Mm-hmm. His biggest game, I feel like, sack-wise, is going to be the last game when they play Pitt. That's where, if he's going to get that 18, that's where he's going to get the most out of the next 3 games.
Yeah.
Because their line right now is just not horrible. Good. And I don't know if this is actually true or not, but one of the linemen actually supposedly, I don't know, supposedly admitted to holding Miles Garrett every
Yeah.
play.
Yes, I saw that.
So they'll be watching that a little bit more.
I feel like so, yeah. So
Yeah. So, but I think it's very possible. I think he does hit the 18 mark because I think over the past few weeks he's been becoming more that leader that we've all expected him to be. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
impact wise too.
That I think so. So I want to say as we move forward a little bit to the Saints and Browns overview. I know we've been talking a lot of Saints and Browns. Again, I want to get some score predictions and what you think. Deshaun Watson wise, 3 games of straight production, just straight getting better. Passer rating is up, completion percentage is up, turnover differential is getting lower as we move forward. He's getting comfortable. Kevin Stefanski's calling better plays for him. I'm getting creative. You're seeing that as well. But again, it's going to be a very cold game. These two teams really need this win if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. So what's kind of the overall feeling in this game? Is there confidence that's exuding? I know I'm very confident myself, but Jake, we'll go Christian, and then I'll say what I have to say.
Are you talking about as far as the overall feel of the game?
Just the overall feeling, like
and you can throw in a score prediction too.
Yeah, you can throw in a score prediction as well. What are you thinking? Is it going to be a blowout? Is it going to be a 13-3 like last week? What's kind of the situation that you're thinking? Just score prediction.
Well, I'm feeling pretty good myself. I know Browns fans are feeling pretty good. I know the team is feeling pretty good. Right now, we feel pretty good coming out of the Ravens game. But, I mean, you can never rule out really anything. We know that as fans. We know that anything's possible. I mean, for all we know, we could lay another egg like we did against some teams in the past, a.k.a. the Falcons, a.k.a. the Jets in the last 2 minutes of the game, and just absolutely just play awful. I'm not saying that will happen, but you can't rule that out. I think with everything at hand and with the fact that we want to end on a good note, I feel like we should handedly win this game by 10 to 13, 14 points. Yeah. If you asked me right now, I would say somewhere along the lines of 21-10. Yeah. 24-10, something like that.
Okay.
I'll take that. I like that a lot. Go ahead, Christian.
All right. So I think the Browns running game is going to feast. It's going to eat. It's going to have a day. And I think that the running back group is going to have a collective of 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns?
Yeah. I'm telling you, bro.
Is Nick Chubb playing?
Chubb's going to play.
Is he playing? Okay.
Yeah. I think Chubb's
going to be
Chubb's going to have 2. Ream's going to have 1. And your boy, D'Ernest Johnson's going to get a few touches. He's going to have a tutty. So, Browns 31.
Takes, man.
Saints 17.
Saints 21-17?
No, 31-17.
31-17. I think it's going to be extremely, extremely I don't want to use the word boring because we're Browns fans and no game is. But from the outside perspective, it is going to look very boring because I do believe that the Cleveland Browns will have control over every single aspect of this football game. I can't even, but it's not going to be like a crazy score. We're not going to see it in the scoreboard, but I definitely feel like I'm like a 17 to 9. A 17, they're gonna kick a lot of field goals. You know what I mean? It's very close to what Jake's score was. We're gonna get 2 tutties. I think Deshaun Watson is gonna throw for 1, have a very high passer rating, complete some good passes. I do believe Nick Chubb is gonna get himself a touchdown pass. But again, I just don't think it's gonna be anything crazy. But you're just gonna see time of possession. Very good for the Cleveland Browns. And it's just going to look – as Browns fans, we're going to feel very comfortable watching this game. From beginning to end, we're going to say, wow, yeah, that was a win. We put it under our belt. And, we're going to win 4 out of our last 5. So, just showing teams that we can win football games with Sean Anderson.
Yep, Browns by a million. Let's go.
Browns by a million, baby.
Yes, sir. And I think that's a great way to end the episode, boys.
That's a great way to win the
Yeah.
episode.
Yes, sir. And you know how we end these episodes. It's down with the Browns.
Down with the Browns, baby.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
And go Browns.
Go Browns.